If you ask me, traveling should challenge you. I'm Sebastian Modak, Associate Digital Editor for CONDE Nast Traveler and a city boy through and through. So how, you might ask, did I end up here? Hanging off the edge of a waterfall, gasping for breath, and flailing blindly. This is São Miguel Island in the Azores, a Portuguese archipelago in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The Azores are made up of 9 volcanic islands, full of dramatic cliffsides, black sand beaches, and rolling green pastures. I'm heading to this underappreciated spot in the Atlantic to get outside and try some things I've never done before. I arrive in Ponta Delgada, a small port city that's as urban as São Miguel gets. It's full of beautiful cafes and grand colonial architecture. But I'm not here to admire the city. I'm here to get way out of my comfort zone. This is Sete Cidades, a giant volcanic crater on the western edge of the island. An undulating rim surrounds 2 lakes, one blue, one green, and a tiny village. It's obviously lovely to look at, but I'm here to see it from 2 wheels. Recent rains have made the gravel loose and wet. Uphills are tough, as expected, but the downhills are straight up terrifying. I skid across the ground and lose my balance more than once.
This is really intense.
The weather changes constantly. One second, I'm in a cloud, unable to see more than a few feet in front of me. The next, the sky clears, and I see the twin lakes below me. I stop often to take in the view. Did I hurt for days afterwards, discovering muscles I didn't even know I had? Yes. Would I recommend you give it a shot? Hell yes. I'll generally eat whatever's put in front of me, so when I hear about cocido das fornas, a meal cooked deep in volcanic vents, I say yes please. The ingredients are assembled in the morning, a few roots and vegetables, and a whole lot of meat. Chicken, cow, pig, it's all thrown in the pot, and then lowered into the ground. In the afternoon, the chefs return to pull the steaming pot out of the vent and bring it back to the kitchen for lunch service. This serves 2. Chicken thigh, beef, pig ear, multiple sausages, potatoes, and taro. It's all been pulverized by a thermal subterranean stove. A final pour of the juices collected in the cooking process, and I'm ready to eat my weight in volcanically cooked food. And feel like a lead weight at the end of it. But luckily, I'm at the Terra Nostra Hotel, which also has a natural hot spring, filled with probably good for your skin minerals to soak in. A doctor would likely tell me that getting into hot water after eating the biggest meal of my life is not a good idea. But I'm not a doctor. Remember that image of me getting pummeled by a waterfall? This is canyoning. It involves ropes and helmets and wetsuits and, well, waterfalls. Over the course of a couple of hours, you hike, jump, and rappel your way down a naturally formed river canyon. I am, it turns out, not very good at it. But I have some help, courtesy of ace guides like Bruno, who gives me a much-needed hand along the way. Bruno, what would I do without you? With my heart rate up and feeling just a little battered, it's time for another hot spring soak. This time, I'm right at the edge of the island, and only a few strokes from the open Atlantic Ocean. As a city boy, I do appreciate the outdoors. A hike on a Sunday or even a walk through a park is a refreshing break from all the noise. But in the Azores, I experienced a whole new level of interaction with the natural world. For much of it, it was just me and the Eden that is São Miguel. I saw very few tour buses or big crowds. Entire stretches of prime oceanfront real estate stand undeveloped and untouched. In my mind's eye, I saw sprawling resort complexes being built in the future. That said, what right do I have to hope that it stays as it is? Increased tourism brings more money into the islands, creates more jobs. Maybe it's what Azorians want. But something tells me this island chain will figure out the balance. The adventures on offer in its barely touched wilderness are its greatest appeal, an inexhaustible playground of the outdoors. I, for one, will be back. There are 8 other islands to see after all.